Wow, that was a great song. Very peppy to get me started. Thank you. I think an attitude of gratitude is a great place to start, and I am grateful to be here. It's great to see you all. And it's so pretty. They have Christmasified in here. I love it. So my talk today, the proximity game. I'm actually going to share something with you that has been an experiment for me, and I think it's been quite transformative, so I thought I would share it with you for what may benefit you too. So as we know in New Thought Principles, it's pretty standard across all of them. We all believe that God is good, that there is that one power. It is good. It is inherently good. And that there is a divinity. Because it is everywhere present, there is that divinity within each one of us. We also believe that thoughts have creative power and shape our experience. So that means that when I think and use my mind, I actually am creating. And that's a beautiful thing and amazing to have that awareness so that we have the power to direct our lives. There is one part of that process, though, that I find incredibly problematic. And you might not have the same problem, but what I find is my mind can be quite problematic. It is not the most reliable source of truth in me, for sure. My mind can get very confused between what is for my highest good and what will allay some guilt I'm feeling, or what I feel or have been taught that my role is in life. My mind will tell me that I should do things, that if I just, put in a little bit more effort, I could do something. My mind will try and convince me that this is actually something I want to do, even when it's not. Anybody else have that experience sometimes? So what do we do when we know our thoughts are creative? They shape our experience, and sometimes those thoughts are not terribly productive or necessarily for our own good. So this is where my experiment came in. So the teacher, I come from the Centers for Spiritual Living, and the author in that is Ernest Holmes. And he wrote an article on insecurity. And what he said is that, we have these powerful minds, and we have difficult childhood experiences. We have an ego that unconsciously believes that there's something wrong with us. And when we have all this stuff that we carry through our lives, then what we've got is this, we're filtering divine thought through this kind of faulty filter. And so he goes on to say that, what do we do about this? Well, we work on forgiveness. We work on our spiritual practice. We work on our affirmations and our prayer. And those are all incredibly important and useful things. And we focus on that idea of the goodness of God, on that idea of that purity of who we are. And I've been working on that for a long time. A really long time. We count in decades how long I've been working on that. And still I find that my mind is problematic. So I think it is a worthy lifelong pursuit that we work on really reminding ourselves that we are worthy, that we really are a divine emanation of the one that is all good. And sometimes I think we have to accept that there's little hurt parts of me that I may not be able to release now or next year or maybe ever. So I had an experiment and I asked a question. So this happened about three and a half years ago now, when we made an enormous change in our lives. We sold everything in the Okanagan and we moved to Nanaimo. And I knew one person in the city of Nanaimo, and I had no job. We had no spiritual community to come to, even though I was just becoming a minister. And here we were. So I knew at that time there were going to be a lot of decisions to make. We had to make friends. We had to find a home. I had to find a job. And we wanted to build spiritual community. So my experiment was, I asked myself this question: what would happen if I simply move toward things that feel in alignment with who I am, and move away from things that don't feel in alignment? What would happen if I just lived my life from that place? So instead of getting all up here in my overthinking mind, I just simply move in when it feels right and move out. And I don't know that I have the words to really describe what does that alignment feel like. I'm not sure. But do you all kind of have that feeling when something feels right? It's just like easy, right? It's free, it's peace, it's inspiration. So whatever that thing is, I thought, what if I let that run my life? Because I've spent 50 years letting my mind run my life, and that hasn't always served me terribly well. So let's bypass my mind for a while. I mean, it can still play a role, for sure, but what if I let my alignment, whatever that is, that connection with the one, be the thing that's in the driver's seat? So what did that require? It required a lot of spiritual practice. It required a lot of interrupting of my mind. As it gets into the looping overthinking, I'd have to stop it and say, okay, we're not going to do that in this instance. I had to sort of comfort my mind sometimes and say, we can always go back to that later. If this is a big mess comes out of this, we can always go back to overthinking later. I'm a very highly skilled professional in that regard. So it took spiritual practice. It took some listening to that still small voice, and listening in a way, again, where I'm not filtering it through all the mumble jumble going on in my mind. I'm feeling it on more of a visceral level. And I think what I ultimately did was I had to surrender to the divine within. So the results, I'm happy to say, 3.5 years in, have been phenomenal. It's been transformative for me. I would say at this time in my life, all of the things in my career, my relationships, all of the things that I have in my world really are the best they've ever been. Turns out, this mind wasn't super helpful in creating the life I wanted. There's something deeper within me, an inner knowing, that is much wiser than my mind is. So what happened for me is life got pretty simple. The laying awake at night thinking, oh, what should I do? And the list of the pros and cons, and should I and should I not? And what are people's expectations? What will they think of me if I do this? Is it too far to drive? Should I do that? How is this relationship going to work? All of that, I just let that go, and I just feel into it. And then I trust into it. And I can tell you, it really hasn't let me down so far at all. So building this life that we've done here, I've used it for everything. Friendships. And it's so interesting to see what's happened in my life, all of my relationships, the ones that just as I lean in, they've just blossomed, as other ones have just sort of lay fallow for a while. And the nice thing is I don't have to make anybody right or wrong in that. It's not that a person is good or a person is bad. It's an alignment. It's where I feel aligned. And the same thing happens with groups. I mean, you can feel it, right? When you walk in here, how warm of a place this is, how you feel welcomed, how you feel loved and held. We feel that, right? So I was able to just use that same feeling in all of my areas of my life. So what would happen if I joined this group? Oh, it doesn't feel quite right. Okay. Let's try this group. In my career, I would lead towards one place, type of work, and then off to another when it didn't feel right. And I mean, this isn't just a kind of selfish thing of I'm just going to be like, it feels good, I'll do this. It doesn't feel good, forget it. And I'm not actually loyal to anybody or responsible. I do it in a wholehearted way. And when I'm in, and I'm there, and I recognize not every day is going to be joy-filled, but I still feel that alignment even through the hard times. And I work in post-secondary and a college, and they are imploding right now. I don't know how much you know. So let me tell you, they are hard times right now. But I still recognize where I have that feeling of alignment. And the work still truly feels like it's mine to do. So again, while I really feel that I reap the benefit of living in this way and feeling the freedom and the simplicity and the ease that life is unfolding, but I also think it makes me a better friend, a better partner, better at the work I do, because I show up in a place where I know I can be my best self, and I can give fully of myself. And I don't have to get caught up into did I say it right or do it right? I just go with that alignment. So it's been amazing. So we came here with no spiritual community. And one of the things I thought is, what I'd like to do is work with what's already going on in the community, not necessarily just set something up and have, one more thing that people choose from. So, and through that process of just finding alignment, we've ended up partnering with a library. And we've ended up kind of building more of a spiritual community for people who just a Sunday service wouldn't necessarily feel right for them. And when somebody says, but where's your Sunday service? I can say, we don't have one, but I can tell you about a great one that is here on a Sunday, right? So it's become this really lovely place where there's no resistance. I just go with it. I feel into it. And if things don't come together, I don't have to make up a big story of why. I can just let it be. And it's letting it be for now. Again, it's not necessarily saying, okay, this is not going to be a thing forever. It's just not a thing now. And I've noticed that there have been seasons and rhythms to it, that, this happens a lot, and then it sort of dies off for a while, and then it happens a lot, and then dies off. And I'm just trusting and having the peace that it is life unfolding in alignment. And Ernest Holmes said, peace comes from the absence of fear, from a consciousness of trust, from a deep underlying faith in absolute goodness and mercy. That's a pretty sweet thing. If we can let go of that fear, and that for sure, now that I'm not trying to rely on this mind that can get very jumbled with all the stories I've got in there, and I'm really feeling from a place of alignment, so much of the fear has gone out of my life because I just know I don't have to know what the next thing is if this is not the right thing. I just allow my feeling and to feel into it. So some of the things that have been really exciting is, as I say, my career right now feels like I do 3 jobs, basically. I have a spiritual community, I teach, and I also provide service to students with disabilities. And to me, I was like, man, if I could have created, in my mind, like the perfect balance, I get to do all of what I love, but not too much of any one thing. It's perfect. But again, I don't know that I could have gotten there up here in my mind, but when I lean in, I can get there. We're putting on a conference, a Canadian New Thought conference in September, and hopefully you all as a community will be a part of it. And it's very exciting, and we were able to find the venue, and things are just coming together. I didn't kind of go around it in the most traditional way where you strike a committee and all of that, because honestly, I was too busy to do that. But people just keep coming and saying, oh, I'd like to be involved. Oh, I'd like to be involved. And then, we were able to find the venue. And then I had coffee with somebody who actually lives on Salt Spring Island. And she's a ministerial student. And she said, well, I'm kind of at that point in ministry where I need to do a practicum. And I was like, well, and she says, and I should tell you that I've run a whole bunch of conferences. I brought integrated health conferences to Canada. I was like, well, isn't this a prayer answered? But again, like it just is, it's that alignment, right? When we can allow, we can be open. I'm not trying to resist something and think it has to look like this. I just lean in. And then I can let my mind relax. And then I often just know what it is that's right in front of me to do. So through the holiday season, this might be a great place if you want to try this experiment of looking at what maybe in your life you feel like you want to lean into, what you might feel like, maybe this is a place to step away for a little bit without having to make anyone wrong or, disown anybody, but just to realize what feels aligned and what doesn't. So I would say it's turned out really, really well for me. And what I was asked, what am I ready to release and embrace over this next year? And I'm releasing the idea that this is an experiment, and I'm embracing this as a lifestyle. So I invite you all to do your own experiment and see if there's that place of alignment in you, and that you can get familiar with that and find your own place of knowing. So, in the holiday season, we can have lovely times and challenging times. It might be a way for you to open to that alignment and not think all the thoughts that you've thought every Christmas for the last however many years. So, are you open to that? Great. Well, I'm excited to hear if you do experiment with it and how it goes. So, thank you for having me today. It's been a joy to be here. And I wish you the best of the holiday season with your place of alignment. Thank you.